Why would she lower herself to doing trivial running course? Yeah, hello! I'm back from summer break, and I've got some wonderful Precure episodes to knock out. Going to have one for today, tomorrow, and then Sunday with the usual time with the newest episode, so I will be all caught up. And also, as you can see, I'm now in my summer outfit. I've come back from vacation. I'm still bringing the summer with me. And for today's episode, or episode 22, it's actually going to be kind of a briefer one. This was probably one of the, finally we get an episode that is just simpler. We have a nice, dare I say, filler episode that has maybe one element into it that is important towards just the next episode. But nonetheless, let's hop into this one. We start off at Iraha's house store with the gang shopping, because we need to all do a little bit of shopping. And we come across one of Iraha's friends, or I guess somebody from town, Miss Inuzuka, and her dog Wit. And this episode seems to dive a little bit into the concept of what I assume is show dogs. I don't know if there's necessarily a different kind of equivalent in Japan. I don't know, for me, the stuff they do in the episode is just what they do at dog shows. All of the training course, sort of. They got the jumps that you have in horseback riding. All of my point of reference is just the stuff you do in horseback riding. It's all the, jumps and dressage stuff. And of course, after we see the professional Wit do all of this marvelously, we clearly have to have Komugi participate. And of course, Yuki will not be participating. Kat cannot be bothered. Why would she lower herself to doing trivial running course? We do get Mayu and Yuki snuggles. That is, of course, the most important. And we shape up for our comedic bit of the episode, which is Komugi not doing any aspect of the course correct. None whatsoever. Now, this is one of those bits where this episode just once again reminds you, it's a kid's show. Technically speaking, it makes no sense that Komugi is bad at this, because she has a cognitive level equivalent to a human now. Miss Ma'am should understand basic directions, but she does not. There's a level of Komugi is doofier than she normally is in this episode, but it's all for the sake of the lesson and the work that we're putting into the episode. As we have Iraha trying to explain the concept of jumping. Though I guess in this case, she tries to use the same language that Inuzuka is saying, and then that's not something that Komugi's gonna get, where I'm like, girl, just say jump. If hop is not making sense, we just say jump. And then we get Daifuku. He's here. He's here for at least this and next episodes, now that I've seen both of those episodes. We have Daifuku, which is really all that I care about. We have our little king back in an episode. They saw through all of us just hanging out as a little team. Also, I like the fact that, again, for a lot of people's fears for male characters as well as characters who are, as far as it's at the moment, not a cure in the season, worried about screen time taking up. Satoru always seems to enter the episode kind of at a delay. He kind of enters after everybody else is kind of settled down, just to remind you that he exists. Then there's this bit where, they're just shoving in kind of the concept of the show. I feel like this could have been smoother, personally, but it's a children's show, so slide. Where she's instead of saying things like jump and move out of the way, we'll say stuff like love and nakayoshi, aka friendship, which I would get if the words were shorter. But nakayoshi is the worst thing to turn into a command, because the point of the command is to keep the word short. That's why you have stuff like hop and jump and dodge. They're all one syllable words. So why are we throwing in Nakayoshi? I know that's the tagline for the show, but it's not a good one. We do get a sassy I don't remember, since it has now been 2 weeks that I'm off kilter. I can't remember if we've had her transformation with the sassier expression. I think this was the first time we get her sassy one, instead for depressed one we had back during the arc. But I love this pose. I love the back turn sass. It's so nice. I really like this. I'm gonna hate it when we've seen it 15,000 times over, but right now I like the novelty of it. I also like the fact that she's these had 2. I feel like we could have like mixed in 4 and then rotated them. I feel like 4 or 5. I can understand that that's a lot of effort. And then we have our squirrel Garu just spontaneously appear when our friend walked away. I don't know what it is with them, with having like the Garu who can just stuff stuff into their cheeks and then yeet it back out. I'm not quite sure what the obsession with that is, but we're doing it again. We're getting a little homage to the hamster, I suppose. But this all builds up to the point of the episode was that we had a combo. We had a team combo, and that's kind of the real meat of what this episode gave us, was finding a way to really push Friendly and Wonderful to be more of a cohesive unit, which will also be the thing that ties into the next episode. Like, the one thing that exists in this episode that is going to be important from any other episode is just the fact that they had a team combo, and it will inspire the others to have their own team and just bring in that, which I do like the way that they handle this bit. I do like that there's a little bit more coordination, even if it's clunky, at least it's logical coordination between the 2 members, which it's not just Precure. I think there's a lot of shows out there with magical girl series where they're like, and then the characters decide to subdue the bad guy with this very weird and method that no one else was going to guess was going to be the method at which they do. I'm slowly roasting Miraculous Ladybug. It's notorious for being like, and then she looked around the room and saw all these items, and this is how we're going to solve the problem. But then, like, you as a person witnessing it saw all those items, and you're like, that was not what I would assume we would do with those items to take out our bad guy. They're like, let's build a rocket ship and that solved our problems, as if that's normal. So, all to say that I did like that this was logical. Even if it was goofy, it felt coordinated, it felt like it made sense, it worked. And we actually get to see the shields used differently, because we do have the shields in this season, and shields historically in Precure get a bad rap. Me and some other content creators that you may know may be very vocal about our sort of depression towards the way that shields are handled in some seasons. No, but not Cure Sunshine. My girl, she rocks it. One of the OG shielders, and she knew what to do, and it kind of went downhill from there. But I do like the versatility of the shields. We've seen it before when we like literally unraveled one of the ribbons and then like used it to tie up the Garu. It's nice to see this used as like a jumping pad. I like the versatility of it, and we have this whole bit coordinated between Friendly giving the commands and Wonderful just jumping or dodging when she all this to catch the Garu at the top of the tower, but now gravity is our enemy, and we gotta remember that these 2 exist. They catch him. All nice and neat. I love that Lillian caught Wonderful, because I was like, Nyami will do anything but catch Wonderful. Like, the 2 of them have had their little sassy sass-offs throughout this whole episode. So I like that they keep the tension between the 2 of them, but it all stays very lighthearted. Like, again, I feel like a lot of other franchises would take the bitterness between characters much farther, but Nyami and Wonderful is pretty balanced, or just fighting, but like it not being an actual problem as such. Besides, I think they go a little bit more in just the funny tsundere direction for Nyami, rather than Nyami really being like super pissed off at anything that went. And then we have to use our toy. Of course, we need to remind everybody that they can purchase these items. And we have our power-up, which is such a series-breaking power-up. The panda power-up quite literally puts the Garu to sleep. Just use it every episode. Why would we use anything else? This is just OP. We'll take them down immediately. Like, it's not even a conversation at this point. It's just insanely strong. But everything wraps up, and then we tease the idea that Nyami was like, that coordination was pretty interesting. Doing a combo with your partner? Something to save for later. Potentially for the next episode that I will be covering. And yeah, overall, just kind of a short, sweet, simple episode. Nothing too big. That's because next week's gonna be a banger. Like, we had to take it easy because the episode I will be covering tomorrow will be significantly longer, and I have significantly more opinions. So I'm super excited to cover that. Look forward to it. And then, of course, Sunday, be back, and we will have episode 24, which we'll be talking about whatever happens next, because that also looks like a really big, chonky episode with lots of lore. So we'll see you then. And until next time, bye-bye!